Today, we are on the search for the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. Let's hope we find it. Trust the process, Lynn. Trust the process. Trust the recipe. Trust the recipe. Welcome back to Bucket List Homestead. We are in the kitchen today because we are on the hunt for the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. I have 3 different recipes we're going to be trying today. We won't be baking any today. We'll be making all the dough. Every one of these recipes, the recommendation is for the best cookie to chill for 24 hours. So we're gonna make them all today. We're gonna put them in the refrigerator. We're gonna come back tomorrow morning and we're gonna bake them all off, and then we're gonna taste test which one is the best. Hopefully it's going to be one of these 3, or I'll be searching for another 3 later down the road. But this is a series of videos that I am going to be bringing you all over the next weeks, months, the rest of this year, because I really am on a mission to declutter our home from everything, every room, every closet, every cupboard, which also includes cookbooks and recipes. I have so many cookbooks and so many recipes. I've already donated, I think 4 or 5, maybe more cookbooks. It's been a few that I did donate. I also donated a lot of the cooking magazines that I have been accumulating. I took out the couple of recipes I knew I liked, and I donated many of them that I didn't even take any out because none of them appealed to us. I managed to get rid of 7 banana bread recipes because I found the perfect banana bread recipe in my last video I brought you on the hunt for the best of recipes, and I will share that somewhere here or at the end of the video in case you missed it. It was the best. Aiden loved it. Grace loved it. David loved it. It was the best banana bread. So that I absolutely am saving. So now I just have 1 banana bread recipe that will be my go-to going forward. And hopefully I make it so often I don't even need to look at the recipe. So yes, today is chocolate chip cookies. I have 3 recipes and I'll link all 3 recipes down in the description below. Now all these recipes, all 3 of them, do require chilling for at least 24 hours. And one recipe even says, I highly recommend you chill for 24 hours. So that is what we're going to do because we do want the best chocolate chip cookie. Now, me personally, the best chocolate chip cookie for me is chewy, not hard. I like a chewy, soft chocolate chip cookie with maybe a little bit of crisp just around the edges. Oh, and when you break it, it's soft and gooey. To me, that is the perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe. And all 3 of these recipes promise to give you that. So we're gonna find out. So the first recipe we are going to be making today is called Chewy Chocolate Chip Cookies. I mean, it's right in the title. So this better give me what I want. And this is from, let me see if I can find out who it's from. I have it printed off here. It is from Sally's Baking Addiction. Now, I have gotten a lot of recipes from that website that have turned out amazing. So I have high hopes for this chocolate chip cookie recipe. So we're gonna start with this one. Okay, so in this bowl, I have 2 1/4 cups spooned and leveled all-purpose flour. To that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. 1 1/2 teaspoons of cornstarch. 1 1/2. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna stir that with a whisk. Next, we're going to add, so this is 3/4 cups of pat brown sugar. And this is 3/4 cups, 170 grams or 12 tablespoons of unsalted melted butter that I've let cool for about 5 minutes. We're gonna pour that in there too. 1/2 cup of organic cane sugar. And we're gonna get those whisked up, which is why I have the whisk attachment on my KitchenAid. So we wanna whisk this until no brown sugar lumps remain. And then we're going to whisk in 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk. She says that is what makes these chewy, the extra egg yolk. All the brown sugar lumps are gone, so here is our 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk. We're just gonna whisk them in, and then we're going to add 1 or 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We're going to pour our dry ingredients into this. It says the dough is going to be very soft, thick, and a hair greasy. Okay. Now we're gonna add 1 1/4 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Quarter. Okay. Gonna give it a stir. It's definitely thick, but I wouldn't call it greasy. And then I'm gonna cover this with plastic wrap and put this in the fridge. Get mixed up what recipe is what. I'm folding my recipe and I'm going to put it right on top of each bowl and get a clothespin and pin it actually to the bowl so it doesn't fall off, and then I'm not wondering what recipe was what. So I forgot my KitchenAid mixer bowls do not fit. They're too tall. They don't fit in my refrigerator, so I just had to transfer that to a glass bowl, which I'm probably gonna end up having to do with this one too, but that's okay. So our next one is called Bakery Style Chocolate Chips. Ultra thick bakery style chocolate chip cookies featuring golden brown edges with ooey gooey centers. So that's what made me say, okay, we're gonna try this one. And I don't know who this one is from, but I will link it down below. It didn't print off the website. Usually it does at the bottom, but it didn't on this one. So they said the butter should be cool room temperature. That's kind of an oxymoron to me because room temperature to me does not say cool. So I just warmed this up for like 10 seconds just to soften it just a teeny bit. So it's more room temperature, but it's still cool, if that makes sense. But this is, how much is this? Let me find my recipe. Bring it over here so I can look at it. This is 227 grams or 2 sticks of unsalted butter. To this, we are going to add our sugars. 1/2 cup of green, yep, and 1 1/4 cups of lightly packed brown sugar. And we're gonna beat this, and it says it will take about 2 minutes. So, which I'm expecting because that butter is still a little firm. So that is nice and creamy. To this, we are going to add, I think it's our eggs. Yes, our eggs and our vanilla. So that's 2 large eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. To this, we're going to add 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. Give this a quick mix. We're going to add 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Cover this, attach the recipe, and we're on to our third and final chocolate chip cook recipe. Chocolate chip cookie recipe. Our last recipe is actually called the best chocolate chip cookies. So it says, here's a tried and true chocolate chip cookie recipe that will impress everyone. We're gonna see. And it is from, again, darn it. It did not print off the rest. Isn't that weird? Only one of them did, but as again, it'll all be linked down below. This one does actually say cup of cold butter cut into cubes. My 1 cup of butter is cubed and chilled in here. I took it right out of the refrigerator. To this, we are going to add 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And I believe the other sugar. Yes, 3/4 cups of organic cane sugar. And we're going to beat these, and it says for 4 minutes. Okay, so that's light and fluffy. To this, we're going to add our eggs, which is 2 large eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I gotta do this one more time. So that's 2 teaspoons. And yes, I'm measuring my vanilla, which I usually don't, because I just wanna make sure I stay as true to these recipes as possible so I can really figure out what ones we like. Okay, we're gonna give this a quick mix. To this, we are going to add 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, 3/4 teaspoons of baking soda, and 3 1/4 teaspoons of salt. 2 cups semi-sweet chocolate chips. And I'm gonna have to replenish my chocolate chips. That I'm down to very few of the semi-sweet anyway. Okay, all 3 doughs are in the refrigerator to chill for 24 hours, which is probably gonna be how long it takes me to clean up all these dishes and mess. It's a lot of mess. For you, it's just going to be 1 second. We're ready to bake some chocolate chip cookies today, and we're actually gonna start with the 3rd dough that we made yesterday, just because that's the order they are in the fridge. And this was the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. And it's definitely been chilling for 24, almost exactly 24. And I am gonna use, I hope, these haven't been working so great. I thought I got good quality ones, but maybe not. But we are gonna use the medium size cookie scoop. I just think the small one is too small and the large one's too large. You know, kind of like the 3 bears. This one's just right. My oven is preheated. The recipe doesn't really say, oh, you know what? This has been sitting out for a few minutes, but it is still way too tough. So we're gonna give these a few more minutes to warm up just a little bit. But as I was saying, the recipe only gives me a temperature if I'm not chilling the dough. So I'm gonna go by the normal temperature I would cook these cookies, anywhere between 350 and 375. My oven is preheated to 350. And it says we cook them for 8 to 11 minutes. That's about right. I'll probably do 8 and then check on them. But yeah, it's just a little too chilled. I should have took it out a few minutes sooner. So we'll give it a few minutes to warm up. This recipe says if you don't refrigerate, bake at 400. But it doesn't tell me if I do refrigerate, even though they recommend refrigerating. So I have my oven preheated to 350, because that's pretty much usually what you're going to bake these cookies at. I think the other recipes actually say 350. One might even be 375. And we're just gonna get these into the oven, and I'm gonna start at 8 minutes. The recipe says 8 to 11, so my oven tends to run a lot hotter. It seems for these recipes, they all seem to get done much quicker. Everything I've been baking lately seems to get done much quicker than the recipes are calling for. So I'm gonna do 3 across. I was gonna do 2, but I think I can do 3. And yeah, we'll start baking all these off. We are gonna be up to our elbows in chocolate chip cookies today. Batch 1 from the third dough is right out of the oven. We're gonna let these sit for 5 minutes before we transfer them to a cooling rack. And I had to turn the oven up to 375. These were not baking, so hopefully the second batch is gonna come out a little bit better. They don't look bad. I also end up baking these for like 13 minutes. So I put the next batch in on a dark colored too, cookie sheet. I put that in at 375 for 11 minutes. I had to haul out every cookie sheet I have, so I have 2 big ones and 1 small one full of dough, so I can hopefully get these better. And I've also turned on my bottom half of my oven. I'm heating up my lunch in there, but eventually I'm gonna be using that to hopefully get through all these cookies a little bit quicker so I can edit this video and get it out to you today. So I'm writing notes on the actual recipe as I go along, and I'll share with you my thoughts at the end. The last batch of the third dough just went into the oven, and the others are cooling, so I'm going to get the next batch going. And I don't know if this was the second dough or not because they're all mixed up, and without going back and looking at my video, I can't remember. But these are the bakery style chocolate chips. Cool at room temperature. I think this was the second batch. I can't believe I'm going in the right order, but I think this was the second dough. So we are gonna get these put onto the tray. I'm just looking at the notes to see if there's anything. These say baked for 11 to 30 minutes at 350. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. The dough that this batch we're doing now, the bakery style chocolate chip cookies, I couldn't even get my cookie scoop in them at all. So I end up just taking them out, you know, about the size I thought, and plopping them on the tray. So far, chilling these for 24 hours has not been great. And they say you only need to heat, it says in the thing, 10 minutes to room temperature. Maybe because it's so cold out, but I mean, my house is warm. It's not like I don't have my heat on. I don't know if we're gonna find my go-to chocolate chip cookie recipe in this batch. We might not. I might be needing to find a few more, or trying these again, but only chilling them for like 30 minutes versus 24 hours. It's been awful. I'm hoping by the time I get to the last dough, they will be a lot warmer. That recipe actually says to take them, make them into a ball, and shape them into like almost a cylinder shape, which is weird. I've never seen that, so I don't even need the cookie scoop, but oh, there's the next batch ready. We are now ready to start the last batch of dough. Honestly, the hardest part of this is making sure I don't mix up all the recipes. So this is the one that says to roll into a ball, make the shape taller than wide, almost like a cylinder. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever made chocolate chip cookies like that, but we're gonna try it. Said to, oh, again, and this has been sitting out now. It's been over an hour, maybe even 2 since I took this out of the refrigerator, and it is still, oh my God, it's bending my spatula. Okay, let me see if I can find another stronger spoon. Okay, hopefully that worked. So it said to take about 2 heaping tablespoons, and then we're gonna make them taller than wider. That just seems strange to me. It really does. Unless she said to make them taller versus wider. Okay, I'm gonna try it. That's what that means to me. Whether that's right or not, I don't know. I think she means like just mound them up. Maybe like that. Okay, and she recommends, what is this? I think it's 350. Yes, 350. Again, for anywhere from 13 to 15 minutes. Trust the process, Lynn. Trust the process. Trust the recipe. Trust the recipe. I'm just gonna do a small batch of 9 like this and see how they turn out. I'm trying to trust the recipe, but it just seems odd to me. They also seem huge. She did say you can even make them bigger. But yeah, we're gonna try this. Oh, and I don't know if I remembered if I said that this recipe was the one that was chewy chocolate chip cookies. These are the ones I did as the cylinder shape. They took 18 minutes to bake. They do look nice, I will say, but they took a long time to bake, and I really need to get these all done. So I didn't bother waiting to see how they turned out. So I just have the other ones normal. I didn't do a cylinder shape, so we'll see how they turned out. But I have to say, I like the looks of these out of all the ones I've made so far. And sorry, I think you all might be a little crooked in that shot. Hold on, there we go. I have one last batch in the oven. Gonna let them cool just a teeny bit, and we're gonna taste test each one of these. Well, one of each, not all of them. So these are still cooling on the cooling rack, but I got enough done that we can test one. So here how they all look. These are the bakery style cookies. This is the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. And this one is the chewy chocolate chip cookies. I have to say, out of how they all look, the one that I did in the cylinder is what this is almost exactly what I had in my mind of what I wanted them to look like, which is funny because I didn't do the rest of them like that. And for the most part, they look like it. See, there's still some cooling over here, but not quite the same. But okay, let's get to tasting. So the first one I'm gonna try is the chewy chocolate chip cookie one. We're gonna break it open. Not very ooey gooey, but this recipe had the least amount of chocolate chips. It was only 1 1/4 cup. It also had, I believe, the least amount, yes, of brown sugar, which I found interesting. So we're gonna try it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I like this one. I wouldn't call them chewy at all. They're soft. And I'm sure baking this batch for 18 minutes, I wonder if I should try, let me see if I can, I really don't want to eat this many cookies, but I'm going to try one that I baked just for 13 minutes. Okay, that is a little bit more ooey gooey than that first batch, so. Okay, that's definitely softer. It's because those ones had to bake so long. That's the kind of cookie Aiden likes. He likes them a little bit crispier, so he'll like that batch. Aiden just got home from school, and before I could get my camera going, he already tested one. And the one he tested is the one, it was my second favorite. I thought it was the one I didn't like. And what did you think of the first one you tried, Aiden?
I thought it was great.
He thinks those are the best ones, and I told you he would because they're the crispiest. They're not chewy, and Aiden likes a crispy cookie. So now what one are you trying?
These ones.
This one down here?
Yeah.
Okay, these are my favorite out of all the ones I made.
The bakery style.
Bakery style. What do you think of them? They're chewy.
I think it's better than this one. I still think these.
Oh, you already tried
ones.
this one already?
Yeah.
Okay, this was the one I didn't like.
Yeah, I think that's my least favorite.
It's not that they're not bad cookies.
No,
I mean, it's just it's still not the perfect cookie. But yeah, I mean, teenage boy, he loves these ones, and those were the what were those called? The chewy chocolate chip cookies. And yet they're not chewy at all. I'm a chocoholic. This is a lot for me. Okay, the next one we're going to try is the best chocolate chip cookies. I'm trying to find the small. Okay, good. Here's a small one. I'm just going to break it in half anyway. I mean, these are cooled down a bit too. Those ones were a little bit warmer because they just came out of the oven. A little bit of gooiness. And I'm going to break it in half again because I don't want this one. Okay. Not very chewy. I wouldn't say that's the best chocolate chip cookies. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm going to say the one that's called the best chocolate chip cookie. So far, that's I haven't tried them all, but that one's not what I was looking for. Okay, and the last one, which is bakery style chocolate chip cookies. A little bit more what I was looking for. I feel like this is going to be, oh yeah, this is going to be chewy. Oh, look at that. Yes. This one, and I think for the most part, they all look like that. Like I'm looking for a flat cookie. Does that make sense? Not so much the rounded ones. I had a great recipe. It was Martha Stewart's chocolate chip cookie recipe. I used that for over a decade. It was awesome. And then all of a sudden, they started not coming out on me. Didn't change anything. I don't know what happened. So this is why I'm on the hunt for a new one, but okay. Oh. Oh. This one had 2 cups of chocolate chips. I think it had the most flour. It did. It also had the most brown sugar. No, it didn't. Nope. It had the second. It had a 1 1/4 cups. That one is good. That one is so good. I'm going to do something I shouldn't. I'm going to try a second piece. That is chewy. Those, I think that one's pretty good. I think out of all 3, that one's my favorite. So my favorite out of the 3 is definitely this bakery style chocolate chip cookie. And I put up what that one was from, and now I can't remember. Like I said, I will share all the recipes, like I've already said probably too many times before. But that recipe, the one I like the best, also made the most cookies. That one made 36 cookies, and I think it said it would make 26 cookies. I got 10 more cookies out of that recipe than I should have. And I made them quite large, so, okay. The next amount was the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. That one made 32 cookies, and it said it would only make 18. Did I not make them big enough? Yeah, okay. How did I get more than double? And the last one's the chewy chocolate chip cookies. That said it would make 16 extra large, 20 medium. I got 23. So pretty close to what it said, but I don't know how I got so many out of this one. She must have made them really, really large, like really big. And only 2 of them had pictures actually with the cookies. And I'm gonna say my favorite actually looks like the picture they have on there too. My question is though, I have to ask myself, do I feel like I found my go-to? No. No, I didn't. These definitely will all get 8. I'm gonna freeze some so we have some down the road, but I'm gonna have David take in quite a few to work tomorrow. So they can all enjoy them. But yeah, I don't think I found my go-to. Now, Grace let me know that when I was still in Florida this past fall, when the family came home ahead of me, she wanted to make the boys some cookies and surprise them. And she found this one called the Best Soft Chocolate Chip Cookies. And apparently they were amazing. Grace said they were really good. David, and did your brother eat them too? Because I know your brother's really picky about chocolate. Hayden, he prefers either the ones from the store bakery or like Chips Ahoy, like really crispy hard cookies. He does not like the soft cookies. Grace really liked them, and she also said this one used a lot less chocolate chips too, because I will say I like the recipe that only used 1 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. That was my number 2 favorite. That was the chewy chocolate chip cookie recipe. That one only used 1 1/4 cups. Like I said, the rest used 2 or 2 1/2. I did not use 2 1/2. I stopped at 2. I think 1 1/2, 1 1/4 would have been plenty. And that might be part of why they didn't bake as the way I was hoping. That was a lot of chocolate chips in them. But Grace said they don't recommend, you don't have to, yeah, you didn't have to chill this recipe. Now, the one that I like, I am going to try again with my next experimenting, finding the chocolate chip cookie recipe I want to keep. I'll only chill them maybe for like a half hour versus overnight. I'll do this one for Grace. And you know what? I want all of you. Send me your favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe. Either if it's a link, you can link it down below in the comments, or if it's a full recipe, you can send it to my email, bucketlisthomestead93@gmail.com. Maybe, and I will pick one of the ones that you all send me, and we'll try that one, and I'll make sure to give you a shout out what one I'm using. Send me your favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe, the one that you say will make me not want to make any others. Let's see if we can find one that way. And we're gonna make more chocolate chip cookies in a few weeks. But I think the next recipe I'm gonna try won't be anything with chocolate in it. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. There is a special birthday coming up, and I'm gonna have to make a birthday cake, so I think we're gonna be on the hunt for the best birthday cake recipe. I have a couple already in my arsenal that we've used that we also were pretty good, but I think I can find one more, and we'll do a taste test and see if we can find which one's the best before the big birthday. That's coming up in April, not that far away. Okay, friends, well, we didn't find the best chocolate chip cookie recipe, I don't think, anyway, that I'm searching for, but we sure did have a lot of fun trying, and the family is going to have a lot of fun eating these. Until then, take care, God bless, and we'll see you all soon.